Hello Crest residents and welcome back to Brain Boosters. Thank you so much for joining me this month for another Brain Boosters video. My name is Jillian Perry and I am the Resident Services Coordinator of the Highline Overlook neighborhood. Resident Services is a team of employees available to partner with you through the joy-filled and the hard times, and we believe in being approachable and responsive to your well-being. Every interaction we share, you can trust that what matters to you matters to us. We are happy to provide comprehensive information about supportive resources tailored to your personal circumstances so that you're able to make informed decisions. If you would like to be emailed a direct link to the newest Brain Boosters video each month, I am more than happy to send those to you. All you'll need to do is call or email me using my contact information that will be listed at the end of this video and in the description box below. I invite you to reach out to Resident Services if you have any questions about Brain Boosters or other support group offerings here at Crest. This month was the start of a brand new quarter, and at Crest we are focusing on sharing our unique gifts, time, treasures, and talents. So I thought it was the perfect opportunity to talk about altruism. So altruism is the unselfish concern for other people, which means doing things simply out of a desire to help and not because you feel obligated out of duty, loyalty, or religious factors, and without any expectations of reward. Everyday life is filled with small acts of altruism. You can probably think of a few, but some are holding doors for strangers to giving money to the homeless. So let's jump into some other examples of altruism. First, we will talk about volunteering. So volunteering is any unpaid activity where someone gives their time to help a nonprofit organization or an individual who they are not related to. A recent example of this was volunteerism by Crest residents to assist with the vaccination clinics. Next, a donation is a gift for charity, humanitarian aid, or to benefit a cause. Now, this can take various forms such as money, services, or goods, such as clothing, toys, food, or even vehicles. An example of this is donating to the food drives that Crest often holds. For example, currently, the MyErickson Living Values team is holding a food drive for the Parker Task Force, which is a local food bank, and this will be running until the end of this month, and there are donation boxes in the lobbies around campus, including Town Center, McHenry's Crossing, Highline Overlook, Colorado Clubhouse, Summit Square, and Mill Vista Lodge. As a personal example, I remember when I first started working here at Crest about a year and a half ago, and it was hard for me to find my way around the community, and I remember it felt a little bit like a maze. Maybe some or all of you can relate to that, and I found that an overwhelming amount of staff and residents would actually go out of their ways to help point me in the right direction, and it truly helped me find my way around. Now, I try to do the same for other people whenever I see a puzzled look on someone's face or if someone's studying one of the signs really closely. And this is just a small scale example of altruism, but it's my guess that we've all had a pretty similar experience when joining this community. And so the people who offered to help me were motivated not by any expectations of reward, but simply they were acting out of concern and likely yours too, well-being. There is a book from 1954 titled The Ways and Power of Love, and the author began his preface with the assertion that Unselfish love and altruism are necessary for physical, mental, and moral health, and that altruistic individuals live longer than egoistic individuals. Although his preface did not mention cognitive health, I was able to find some interesting research on how altruistic behaviors can influence brain health. So when I was looking through the research, it was a little bit hard for me to understand it all, so I'll try my best to explain it as simply as possible, and I think this might be best achieved by going through a study that took place at the University of Oregon in 2016. In that study, 2 researchers had set out to reveal what happens in the brains of individuals who give by studying 80 men and women between the ages of 18 and 67. The research team gave $100 to each participant and placed them within an MRI scanner. A computer screen was placed before them in the scanner, and each of the subjects was presented with the opportunity to donate to a food bank. Donations were either made voluntarily or involuntarily, with some individuals being forced to donate between $15 and $45. Participants were instructed that they could keep any money left over at the end of the study session. When individuals were donating voluntarily or involuntarily, the nucleus accumbens, a part of the brain associated with the processing of unexpected rewards, became active. Within this particular region of the brain lies neurons that secrete dopamine, which is a neurotransmitter that plays a key role in reward-motivated behavior. Remember, I know it's been several months since we've went over this, but neurotransmitters are chemical messengers in the brain that transmit messages from neurons to a target cell, which could be another neuron, a muscle cell, or even a gland cell. The research team found higher amounts of dopamine in the nucleus accumbens of each subject when voluntarily choosing to donate, as opposed to when they were forced to. Among those who donated voluntarily, there were a particular few whose nucleus accumbens showed exceptionally high activity. Based upon the degree of activation within the subjects, the researchers could reliably predict how much the participants were going to give. The individuals who demonstrated exceptionally high brain activity when voluntarily donating were labeled the most altruistic. However, of the participants who showed less activity when voluntarily giving, they were also interesting to study because they were giving their money despite feeling a personal loss. Whether we expect a reward or not when doing something altruistic, the midbrain will become activated in regions typically associated with reward during any altruistic behavior, and this occurs regardless of whether we are happy or sad with our decision. So the brain does have activity when we perform altruistic behaviors. Specifically, dopamine is pumped through our brains at higher levels. Once again, dopamine is a neurotransmitter, and the right amount of dopamine usually goes along with a pretty good mood, which is ideal for learning, planning, and productivity. In another study from 2005, it was found that cultivating loving emotions and engaging in helping and unselfish activities contribute to improved health and longevity by preventing the acceleration of aging at a cellular level. I would like to share with you a quote directly from the researchers of the study that got me thinking, and maybe it will do the same for you. If giving rather than receiving promotes longevity, then interventions that are currently designed to help people feel supported may need to be redesigned so that the emphasis is on what people do to help others. A researcher in 1991 posed reasons specifically for older adults who engaged in altruistic behaviors. It enhanced social integration. It served as a sort of distraction from the individual's challenges, enhanced meaningfulness, increased perception of self-efficacy, which is our belief that we have control over our lives and what happens in our lives, and competence was a part of that, and self-esteem and well-being in individuals, all of which can positively influence our cognitive well-being. Now that we've touched on the cognitive and mental health benefits of altruism, let's go over a potential benefit to physical health by taking a look at a study from a research team at the University of British Columbia. They gave a group of older adults with high blood pressure $40 per week to spend. Half of the participants were instructed to spend the money on themselves, and the rest were asked to spend it on someone else, such as a gift for a friend, donating to charity, or donating to something to benefit other people with the money. A few weeks later, researchers measured the blood pressure of both groups. It turned out that the blood pressures of those participants who had spent money on other people had significantly decreased levels as compared with the participants who had spent the money on themselves. So, as mentioned, one of the best ways to get started or to keep going on your altruism journey can be through volunteering. To build on that, there are so many benefits for ourselves and our community when we decide to volunteer. Volunteering allows you to connect with your community and make it a better place. Although typically not expected, there are actually many rewards for volunteering, which can include making new friends or social connections. Volunteerism can expose you to other people in your community with common interests or values and can provide more opportunity for fun and fulfilling activities. Volunteering can also help boost your social and relationship skills. Volunteering gives you the opportunity to practice and develop your social skills, since you likely would be meeting regularly with a group of people with common interests. Once you start to have momentum, it'll become easier to branch out and to make more friends and contacts. As organizations and opportunities are opening back up, ask yourself if there's something specific that you would like to do. For example, do I want to make it better around where I live? To meet people who are different from me? To try something new? To do something with my spare time? To see a different way of life and new places? To do more with my interests and hobbies? To do something I'm good at? Answering these questions for yourself will help narrow down your search. Next, consider your goals and interests. Start thinking about why you want to volunteer and what you would enjoy doing. Volunteer opportunities that match both your goals and your interests are most likely to be fun and fulfilling for you. Since there are numerous volunteer opportunities available, the key is to find a volunteer position that you would enjoy and are capable of doing. At this point in the discovery process, ask yourself, would I like to work with people or work in solitude? Do I prefer to work alone or as part of a team? Am I better behind the scenes or would I prefer a more visible role? How much time am I willing to commit? How much responsibility am I ready to take on? What skills could I bring to a volunteer job? What causes are most important to me? It is so important that you enjoy your volunteering as you're donating your valuable time. To get the most out of your volunteerism, don't be afraid to ask them questions as they come up for you so that you can know what's expected. If you begin volunteering, don't be afraid to make a change and consider to look for something else, a better match if you're not comfortable with the fit. Most importantly, enjoy yourself and be patient as you learn the volunteerism role of whatever you're donating your time and energy to. Just as a side note, if you're concerned about volunteering due to mobility challenges, there are many opportunities to volunteer even in your own apartment. For example, there are some organizations that accept handmade cards for troops overseas or for children at children's hospitals, or something like knitting or quilting, and donating goods made to homeless shelters or animal shelters. As for some tips and tricks, I have 3 of them for you. So the first one is find your inspiration. It can be helpful to look to inspirational people who engage in altruistic acts. Seeing others work to actively improve the lives of individuals and the community can inspire us to act altruistically in our own lives. Number 2 is practice empathy. Rather than distancing ourselves from other people, which has gotten all too familiar to us, we should actually work on building connection. We should consider how we would feel in a given situation and think about things that we can do to help make a difference. 3, set a goal. Find ways that you can regularly perform acts of kindness for others. Look for ways that you can volunteer at a local organization in your community. If you would like to watch more content related to altruism, I recommend taking about 12 to 13 minutes to watch a talk by a psychologist and researcher, Abigail Marsh. Abigail focuses on a personal event in which a stranger performed a selfless and altruistic act to save her life and explains why some individuals may be more altruistic than others. I have a link to that video in the description box down below. Next month, we will be talking about lifelong learning and how learning can influence our cognitive and overall health. Brain Boosters will be taking place in person in the Town Center Music Room from 1 to 2 p.m. on Monday, May 17th, and virtually to be released on MyErickson or via email or through a direct link in an email. Let me know if you would like to attend May's in-person Brain Booster session, and I'll be happy to add your name to the list. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you all next month.